at the Tri-State Engine Show, checking out some of these hit-miss motors. You can hear them every so often. They hit and they miss. And these are belt-driven water pumps. As you see, they'll pull the water out back in, just recirculating the water with that hit-miss motor. A long time ago when these things first came out, they were either pumping oil, this was real common, or they would be like mines and you have to pump the water out of the mines and quarries. And there's not a lot of electricity going to those things, especially back at that time. So this was a good way of having something that would pump water or oil or fluids. Back in the 1920s, earlier, slightly later, pretty efficient. These motors run very efficient. So we also have a little John Deere over here, just a little bitty guy. This one's doing the same thing. It's just running a little pump. You can see it there. It's got a little flywheel on this side. It just runs that little pump right there. Pumps that water out. This is one of the largest hit-miss motors here, Fairchild Morris. You see that big flywheel? That would probably run a really big belt. That would run a whole factory. This big Fairchild Morris motor. And it's not easy to see how large that is. That's on a semi-trailer. See how big that is? I'll just keep backing up so you can see people standing in front. That is a massive motor. Massive. Here we've got another one, Fairchild Morris, running. This one's 50 horse. It's a single cylinder. So that other one over there, you're looking at over 100 horsepower. And these are steam motors. So the torque on them is exponentially higher. It can be like 10,000 foot-pounds of torque. But you can see it runs a smaller flywheel. And again, that's probably running a belt. And this thing's running a factory or some huge thing, but it's just amazing. These monstrous. Again, it's on a semi-trailer because it's so heavy. And there's a simple cooling system for it. And there's a lot more of them here running. I'll just take a quick walk through. We got one not running. We got a couple of them here running. These guys are running on propane. They're running all kinds of different fuels. They're not real particular. They've got a governor right up here that watches the speed. Try to get around in the light a little bit better. That's the governor up there. It's hard to see, but there's a little big oiler right in there. We've got oilers up here. Keep all these oilers full to keep this guy running. There's a spud spot. They use the height to get it lit up. Got one big piston inside. This one, Reed City gas engine, Pennsylvania. It's got like two pistons going back and forth on this one. Got another little guy running right behind me. We'll walk over and check him out real quick. It's got a little belt operated. It's actually through there. And you can see it doesn't work very fast. You see how slow it's not running, it just coasts up the energy from the flywheel. And it just fired. You can see it's running the valve right there and just hit. That little governor right there is kind of controlling the speed. There, just fired again. You can watch that flywheel spin. And it's not doing anything right now, it's just waiting to spark. Right, there's a spark plug, it just fired. Go out for one more time. It's waiting, it's just coasting. Just coasting, there it just fired. Really simple system. These things were perfect out in the field. Look, there's the radiator for it. They got nice old school running gear under this one. little hit miss motor action for you. I like this one. It's 1907. It's an oil field, 20 horsepower. You can see the motor there. They got a little bitty guy running in front of it. But this one's one that's caught my eye because there's the cooling system for it. It's a big Bessemer. Cousin Tom had one of these for a while. But it kind of gives a good example of what they did. See, it's running an oil pumping system. And you can see the belt coming down, going down here. The belt comes down to this little system. Goes across there. Across, it's running this up and down. This one's running the cooling system. So this is the water pump. You can see there's a little pump in there going back and forth. So this is the cooling system for the big one. The second shaft, the jack shaft, runs across over that belt. That's running this up and down. And then that in turn is running the oil well. So that's pumping your oil. And these would run off like a natural gas right out of the well. So you can tap this right into the well. And the gas that's coming off the well would run the motor. So it's basically running for free. So you can extract oil from the oil fields for no charge. So it was such a big bonus for the oil people back in the day. They love these things because they run so efficient. If you listen, it only fires every so often. That big flywheel engine just keeps it going.